Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sergio Angrisano speaking. We are from Italian channel. We are today here with Mr. Matteo Giroletto, which is a gentleman coming from Milan, North Italy, and at one we want to ask him a lot of important questions about cancer. So then we are with Mr. Matteo Giroletto, as we say, he comes from Milan, North Italy. Welcome on board, Mr. Giroletto. Did you have something important to tell us about your illness?
Actually, we saw, the news is that we saw that on last biopsy I did, we saw that treating this local tumor biosome, it worked really good, and the biopsy was negative. So ozone injected directly in the bones worked very well. That's the news.
So when did you find out that you have got a cancer?
Well, my history started around 3 years ago on December 2015, and I started with a nasopharyngeal cancer 3rd stage. So I had a tumoral mass in my head, in my nose, around 5 centimeters. And I did the normal, the gold standard therapy, so chemo and radio together. After that, after 4 months of therapy, I was in remission from this illness for around 11 months. And then on May 2016, I discovered that I had a recidived and I was metastatic in my bones.
Can you tell us what kind of cancer you have?
Nasopharyngeal cancer it's not so common in Europe. It's more common in South Asia. It's a cancer that is developing itself in the nose, in the high part of the throat, and it's connected with a virus that is called Epstein-Barr virus, or EBV. And the immunity system is not able to manage it anymore, and so it starts to develop cancer.
So this cancer has got a familiarity in your family, and probably you have to tell us about your father.
Yes, my father fell sick 1 year before me. He died on last January, so on January 2018. And he had a local recurrence. Instead of me, that I became metastatic, I had another relative involved in this situation. Now she's good, luckily. And so in our case, it's quite evident that is familiar, there is something wrong in our genome.
So you have played the normal cycle of chemo and radiotherapy, and what result you have got?
Initially I had a good result. I was in remission for 11 months. I was feeling quite well for some months, and then I started to feel sick. And then I got the evidence that I was really bad, because I had the pain in my bones, in my spine. And so the diagnostic bioimage made an evidence of my real state. And so we discovered those metastases around everywhere in my skeleton. So the prognosis was very, very, very bad. It was, they were talking about 24 months of a life, and this is in the literature. And also specialists told me this.
So something like really awful, short life.
Yeah, short life and very bad quality life, and pain, dying with pain because of bones
What is great in this gentleman is that he starts to study by himself and find out something new in a kind of a personal research. What did you discover studying?
Well, I try to study to find out some solutions on PubMed, the International Library of papers of medicine, international papers. I discovered some substances, some things that could help me somehow in trying to find out a solution. And I discovered that in many waterfalls or cascade of events, it was involved the oxygen. So in my researches, I found out a really recent research by Luongo, and I was happy of it because it was Italian, so it would be more easy to try to keep in contact, to enter in contact and keep in contact with this researcher. It was quite easy because I discovered this family, I would say, because Professor Carlo Luongo and his daughter Margherita, I discovered they opened a foundation, no-profit foundation, with a mission to help chronic patients through Italy. So it was, I was very lucky, and it was quite easy, and I started to practice to the oxygen. And
so then while you made your research, you find out the foundation Amorondus Maria Guarino, made by Dr. Carlo Luongo and Margherita Luongo, and then you start your new therapy. Is a kind of new experience, therapeutic, but also scientific.
Yeah, I started on January this therapy. Initially, a systemic therapy using rectal insufflations. So this methodic to deliver oxygen and ozone. It helped me really well in the management of my blood levels and in the management of pain, because pain in bones is quite, how to say, it's quite annoying. And in these fields, I reached important results quite immediately. And then I did my follow-up, and I discovered some lesions in my bones again. And so I decided to move here in Naples to try a treatment, looking for two goals. One is about the viral load of Epstein-Barr virus, so try to find out a solution about this virus. And we know that ozone is a powerful antiviral. And then the other goal we were looking for, it was to see if ozone injected locally is working against cancer cells. And so that's why I'm here.
Okay. What kind of results you find out after your first cycle of ozonotherapy?
About the Epstein-Barr virus, we are keeping it under control. We are following it up. And about the cancer lesions, we saw that it worked. It worked because I did a biopsy recently, and the injection of ozone in the bones, it's quite painful, but it worked very well. And so the doctors, they took me out around 1 centimeter of bone. So it should be write that there is no cancer left in that region of my body.
So, actually, we can tell that your cancer is spit it out.
Well, we are sure that in that part of my body, ozone worked and there is no cancer left there. Then we know also that cancer is a systemic illness, and we have to keep it under control. But the important news to tell everyone is that the ozone, first of all, it's really helpful in the management of cancer disease. And then the news of this interview, I'll say that it's working if it's injected directly in the lesion. So it deserves further studies, in my opinion.
So, we can tell now that cancer, this is a question very important and I'm asking to you, that is not anymore an alternative therapy, but it's a real therapy against cancer?
Yeah, I would say that it's a weapon that doctors, they should consider more as an effective cure, as an effective treatment, as an effective weapon to use, to spend in cancer management. I would say that it's, in my case, it's working.
Okay, very positive. Thank you, Mr. Giroletto, for your interview. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a really positive interview. Inside of one, we are Mr. Giroletto, that is probably out of a big illness. We are talking about cancer. Cancer, probably, fighting with oxygen ozone therapy. The winner is the oxygen ozone therapy.